Hello, welcome to this week's Wild Spirits News. My name is Sibylla and today's subject is In Limbo, here's how to get out. You see, when I was preparing to take that big leap of quitting my daytime job and making my business my sole income, there was a time when I was actually working all hours, trying to get set up, trying to make it all happen. And my social life was non-existent in those days. And there was a point when I remember I hadn't gone to the woods for archery in weeks. Now, while this isn't ideal, it happens. There are always these states in life, these times when everything comes together and we don't get to do what lights us up and we don't get to live the life that we want to do. And sometimes we have to wait for something to happen because we need to finish something else first. Totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. However, sometimes it can also happen that we have a dream or a plan or a passion we wish to prioritize. And the timing just never seems to be right. There's always the circumstances isn't right, the money isn't there, the time isn't right, we aren't in the right state. And we keep dragging on, and that means that we begin to exist in limbo. And that is a bad sign. Anything, as a rule of thumb, I'd say anything that goes beyond 3 months is becoming a problem. So your mission today is to learn to recognize when you are in limbo and to learn how to break out of it. Task number 1 is called Come Clean. This is where you learn to recognize whether you're actually in limbo. It's time to take a step back, take stock, and to do that you need to be brutally honest with yourself. So take a couple of deep breaths and get yourself a reality check. Do you really not have the time? Or is it more like you actually cherish the time that you spend in front of Netflix or in front of social media? I mean, we all tend to underestimate the time that we spend online doing not much at all. And there are apps. If you do this over your phone, if you access Facebook, for example, over your phone, you can download an app that tells you how often you picked your phone and what you did on it. And prepare to be shocked. It is a lot more than you thought. At the end of the week, you get a number of hours that you know if you spent these hours on something useful, it would have been so much better. So be honest with yourself. Do you really not have time? Another example, are you really completely broke? Or is it maybe possible that you, take a part-time job in a cafe one afternoon or one evening a weekend and just to make ends meet, just to earn a little extra money that you need to make this plan a reality? And another reality check is for you, the realization that the circumstances are never going to be perfect. If you're going to wait for the universe to send you an invite, you're going to wait for a very long time. You have to make do with what you have and use the situation you have and not wait for everything to fall into place. Task number 2 is called Beat the Overwhelm. Another hard truth is that once we've been in limbo for a while, we don't actually like it, but there's something comforting about it as well. It feels very safe. You can't fail when you don't do anything, right? So when we've existed in this state for a while, it can seem overwhelming to think of what all the things we'd have to do to get out of this state and to actually pursue the passion or follow that dream or put this plan into practice that we've been carrying around with us for so long. Now, in order to break that state of limbo, you have to be smart. Start by getting organized. Get a piece of paper or open a Word document on your computer and write down, brainstorm every last task that you need to do in order to make this a reality, that which you have wanted to do. And yes, that will sound overwhelming, but brainstorm. Don't organize it first. Just write everything down. Start at the end if you want to. Just do bullet points, just completely disorganized. Just bring everything out on paper. It's important to have it in writing in front of you. That's the first step. And the second step of this task is to then organize it. And you organize it as follows. A, things that have to be done at once, first. This needs to happen straight away when you get started on this. Second, what has to be done fairly soon, at the beginning still. Third, what has to happen in the midterm. And fourth, what has to happen in the long term. So A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever you choose, make these 4 categories. Once you have it in writing, it's a lot less daunting, trust me on this. Task number 3 is called In Limbo No More. Now, this is where it gets hard, because once we're stuck in limbo and get used to this state, we absolutely hate taking action. We're great at planning, making lists and all the rest. We're great at thinking, oh, tomorrow or soon. But today, now, nah. So what you need to do to get yourself going is to trick yourself into taking action. And the way you do this is by taking the list that you wrote in task number 2 and look at the A or 1 tasks, the ones that have to be done at first, that have to happen at once. And you take one of those tasks and schedule it for today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. And the trick in this is that you have to give yourself permission to do this very slowly. And every programming in us will protest against this. I'll have to get going. There's so much that needs to be done at once. I don't have a choice. You know what? You do have a choice. You always have a choice. If you do one little task per week, that's a lot more than you were going to do yesterday, because yesterday you were going to put it off and not start at all. So 1 task, but today, 1 task. And then schedule the second task next week. Just put it in your calendar, put it in your iPhone with a reminder notification. You know how this works. And then the third task, you schedule maybe 2 days after the second one. And the third and the fourth the day after. And then you get into the routine of daily work. But the important thing is to not skip this, doing it very slowly. Because if you skip that and try to do it all at once, you will once again put it off and you will be stuck in limbo again. So what you have to do is give yourself permission to do it slowly, because you know what? Slowly is better than not at all. So get started with something small today and take it really slowly. Okay, you can schedule the next one in 3 days or tomorrow if you feel up for it, but you don't have to. It can be next week. Just get going and get started today. Task number 4 is to let me know. I would love to know what you think about this. Are you currently in a state where you're in limbo about something? By the way, this doesn't have to be your whole life. It can be just one task that you've been putting off, or one dream or one passion or whatever. Or do you recognize this from a time in your life where you did feel like this? I would love to hear your thoughts about it. And obviously, if you are in that situation right now, what is the first step that you're going to take today? Hit the reply button on the email that you got a link to the video with, and I will write back, I promise. If you didn't get the link to the video in an email, that means you're not part of the Wild Spirits community yet, and you should join us. Go to wildspiritscoaching.com, fill in that little form there. You'll get 1 email per week. It's 100% spam free. So you'll get extra information, extra articles, recommendations of books and other resources, and sometimes you get exclusive offers that are only for my subscribers that nobody else ever gets to see. So go to wildspiritscoaching.com and sign up. You can also Google Wild Spirits Coaching. That'll get you to the website as well. Thank you for watching.